Welcome to the second season of Scream Survivor. Scream Survivor 2, part of the Cherry Picker After Dark, which is a Patreon exclusive with the Cherry Picker. And this is a preview for anyone watching on YouTube. So we'll go through the first challenge, the first reward and immunity, and see who gets voted off first. But if you are interested in seeing the complete season and who wins, you can head over to my Patreon and subscribe to the Freddy Krueger tier. You'll also get to see the first season, which was very exciting. But essentially, how just a little bit of background. We love Scream. We also love Survivor. I mean, I love Survivor, but I think Eddie, you kind of really got into it. I got into it. Yeah. So this is just kind of like a melding of the two together, which is actually a lot of fun. We're basically taking characters from Scream, stranding them on an island, except it's not Jeff Probst, it's Wes Craven, who we've designated as the host of the show. So just imagine Wes Craven snuffing out all the characters' torches as they make their way out of the game. But we had a lot of fun doing the first one, so we're gonna do this one here, and let's just get the ball rolling. This is the casting process because we have to pick from a slew of characters to see who's actually going to be playing on the season. There's going to be 18 players in total, 2 tribes. Each tribe is going to have 2 killers on it. They're like the designated tribe captains, we'll call them. And obviously the 18 players who we've excluded, those people played in season 1. So for anyone who has not seen Scream 6, there are obviously going to be spoilers because we're now incorporating Scream 6 characters into this season. They weren't included in the last one. So if you haven't seen Scream 6, maybe don't watch this. Let's start with the first tribe, which is the Sunrise Studio tribe. Ooh. And the first killer, I've balled them up into little things. So I don't know why I did that. Yeah. It's going to take longer to unravel. I wanted to make sure that they were not sticking to each other. We've got Wayne Bailey, Detective Bailey from Scream 6.
Okay, interesting.
And then our second killer, who's heading up the Sunrise Studio tribe, is going to be... It's going to be... Fuck! Quinn Bailey.
Oh my God.
Interesting that, we've got the father-daughter pair.
Yeah, we've got some dynamics we can work off of.
So, if you want to go ahead and pick the first player, the first lady who is not a killer player for the Sunrise Studios.
Okay, the way I know that I'm not cheating is I just hold it high up so I can't see it. Okay. All right, and the first lady... Professor Laura Crane.
Yeah.
Yes, Professor Laura Crane. Who
right.
I only just realized shares the last name with Marion Crane, and she is also the first kill of her movie. So I'm like, hey, I didn't think about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I immediately when I heard the names, I knew that was an homage.
Okay, I didn't know her last name, so
that's
I didn't know her first name either. I'm just like,
I don't
know.
Did they even say it in the movie? I'm not sure.
I don't remember. At some point, I'm sure, but there was a lot going on in that movie. So who'd you pick?
There was, yeah. So then our next castaway is Stephen Stone, aka Putty from Seinfeld. Where is he here? All right, interesting. All right, back to you.
Okay, someone from a movie that hasn't been represented yet. Oh, Sam Carpenter.
All right. Well, I mean, she has not been represented yet. She was not in the last season, so
Yeah, that's true.
So that's good. We're getting Sam.
Okay.
All right, and now Kenny. Kenny the cameraman. Kenny Brown. Allegedly, yeah.
Noises. And I picked one, and it is Jennifer Jolie.
Nice. Very exciting.
Yes.
This is going to be interesting. The last male player for the Sunrise Studio tribe. The suspense. This is the most suspenseful Scream survivor yet. Oh,
It's
Tyson
like Wes
Fox.
Craven directed it. Tyson?
Fox,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Annika Kyoko.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. So that is our Sunrise Studio tribe. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to select the players for Abe's Snake Bodega tribe, which I looked it up. That's apparently the name of the bodega where Sam and Tara are
You and your
attacked.
Tara.
Tara.
Yes.
Is it? Well, nobody says Tara, but I just think that it's funny.
No.
That,
Abe's
it makes me
Snake
think
Bodega.
of like in Halloween 6 because her name is Kara, but then the mom calls her Kara.
Well, it's the eternal argument over Supergirl comic fans because her name is Kara, but Callista Flockhart actually, her character in the TV show calls her Kara all the time as a diss. Anyway, go on. Who'd you pick?
Okay, well, our first killer for the Abe Snake is... It's Ethan. There was
Oh my God!
There was a possibility that like if you could see these, like I've got them balled up into little pieces. They're like this is not rigged.
It's just we were stunned the last time when we were drawing names. Like we were just kind of like, oh my gosh! Yeah, it's insane.
There was going to be a possibility that all three of the official killers from Scream 6 were going to be in a season together, and it just it happened.
Sure.
It would have been better if there was just like more, if it was like evened out, if just one of them was picked or like two at least. But we're getting them all. So, and then our second team captain, is going to be Jill Roberts.
Oh my God!
Jill's getting her turn. It's her turn.
And for first representation from Scream 4 for this season, right?
Yeah, it looks that way. We don't have any
Yeah.
Scream 2. We've got a lot of Scream 6. We've got one Scream 5.
And a lot of
Scream 3. Yeah.
All right.
And now Scream 4.
Here we go. I
And one
picked,
Scream
my
1.
mother told me to choose. Oh my God, Tara Carpenter.
Oh, wow. Well, the sisters
Tara
are getting to
Carpenter.
play. They're on opposite teams.
Oh
but
my God. Until they're not. If they both last.
if
then
they
maybe
make
they
the
can-
merge, yeah.
If they make the merge, yeah.
Oh, Dewey Riley.
Oh!
Dewey's
Okay.
getting to play.
And toss. And pick someone. Please. Oh gosh. Judy Hicks.
Oh, interesting. Judy. All right. We have Danny Brackett. So
Danny.
Scream 6 is just like last season. It was like all Scream 5. Like literally, like the only two Scream 5 characters that weren't picked were Sam and Tara, and now they're here. So we have nobody left from Scream 5. Is in terms of Scream 6. Basically everyone so far. There's just Jason left, but you need to pick one more, and then I have to pick two more.
Okay, and Danny's cute boy,
Man.
cute
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
man child.
Yeah.
All right, who did I pick? I picked one. It is Maureen Evans.
Ah.
Some more Scream 2 representation.
Who do we have from Scream 2 so far?
Oh wait, did we? I didn't even.
I don't think that there. Yeah, there's.
I thought I could have sworn we had somebody, but well, we have Dewey. Maureen.
Well, I mean, I consider him to, because
Evans.
he's like the Scream 1 OG.
Yeah, he counts.
All right, so I gotta just so we have that gender balance. I'll pick the last two, and we've got Randy Meeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And then one more here. It's set. Well, now we know that Sydney and Gail aren't playing in this season, but they're going to be playing next season together.
Wow.
We don't know which tribes, but
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to be on the same tribe or not.
Robbie Mercer, your faves.
Oh God.
Some more Scream
right.
4 representation.
Right.
Okay, let's take a look at these tribes here.
Wow.
So, Sunrise Studios. We've got Detective Bailey, his daughter Quinn, Laura Crane, Stephen Stone, Sam Carpenter, Kenny Brown, Jennifer Jolie, Tyson Fox, and Annika Kayoko. So just like, because there's usually like, how we would look at this is like, who are like the physical threats, who are the strategic threats, and who are the social threats? Because I don't know, like, okay, because socially,
Yeah.
because like Jennifer is like, she's Jennifer, but she's also, it kind of, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, she's like, this big celebrity who throws parties at her house. She has all these celebrity friends, but she's also kind of repellent at the same time, where just like you could see a lot of people wouldn't want to be around her. Like they just kind of want to bask in her celebrity, but like on a personal level, they're probably just like, eh.
Yeah, if she's having a bad
they're, like
day,
she'll come over there, just be like, Gail Weathers, like, oh shit,
No, she's like, I get the impression that if she's having a bad day or if she's off on one of her diatribes, that the people around her might, whatever. But as far as like having a strategy and having her eye on the prize, I'd argue there's almost no one else like her, except maybe Gail Weathers, who's not playing in this particular season.
Yeah.
So she could be seen as an ally for a while for. I think any number of people on any team that she's on. So, I mean, that's attractive because she's strong and strong-willed, and I feel like that could get her through a lot.
I think that
She spent years fighting bigger monsters in Hollywood. So
I don't know why she turned into that persona.
Joan Crawford.
I could see, I mean, like, other than the fact, also if you're new to Scream Survivor, this is like a fresh slate for everyone. Like everyone's been resurrected.
Yes.
They can choose to work with the killers, especially the ones that killed them, or they can go against them. But it's more of just like, we're not playing a horror movie here. They're playing Survivor. So they're, some people might, take things personally, but I think that, a lot of them are going to want to be playing strategically. But I was going to say, I can see Quinn as being a good social player.
Yeah, because she's really good at being devious and just duplicitous. Like, like she could have an entire scheme going on that you have absolutely no idea what it is while she's, sitting there listening to you talk about the hard thing you're going through or whatever,
Yeah.
And she can even make you laugh.
Sure.
So I think she's definitely a strong contender also.
Yeah. I think
I'm worried about Laura.
Laura, I feel like she would be she's not going to be strategic.
No, easily duped.
Socially, um, that's a hard one because she did seem kind of like a little socially awkward in like what little time we knew her, and physical strength. I mean, like she's kind of looking pretty weak here. I'm not gonna lie.
I think people could look at her, particularly the more strategic of this team, could look at her as a pawn to be used until they don't need her anymore and then to be discarded.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That's just the way it goes for a lot of the first kill victims in these movies.
For most of them, yeah.
Well,
When we get to the Abe Snake Tribe, we can talk about Maureen. But I was just
Yeah,
gonna say, like, in
totally.
terms of, well, I was gonna another like really good social player here might be Annika as well. She actually, I think of all of the people on this tribe, she's probably gonna be the most socially adept.
Yeah,
Which could be
probably.
which could put a target on her back, or it could, help her in the game.
As long as she has alliances with people who she's right to trust, who aren't going to try and use her, I feel like she could do really, really well. It just depends on like who she's going to gravitate to. I can see her going to Sam, just based off of like the friend group that
Yeah.
they keep and
Yeah.
their commonality.
Previous
Sam for sure.
relationships,
If we're also Sam for sure, if we're talking about physical resilience, we know Sam can handle herself.
Yeah.
So
Sam
there's
is going to
that.
be a strong physical player. She might
Yes.
actually be the strongest physical player here. There's also
Arguably so.
Steven Stone, who
Yeah.
might be like just like the muscle. Because I mean, like there
Big
was that
imposing
knockout
guy, yeah.
that knockout brawl in the in Dewey's trailer, which I mean he took a few good hits before he was taken down. So,
Yeah.
and then I see Tyson. He might be like a good social player as well.
He might be. I can't see him really making a big, strong impression on people.
No.
Though, because he doesn't in the
He
movie.
no.
He's just kind of there.
I mean, I don't want to like set anything in stone right now, or just kind of like
Sure.
be like this is what their game is going to be. But there certain characters like him and Kenny for sure. Like especially Kenny, I see them as just being a number, or just kind of like
Yeah.
just someone to pad an alliance, so that they have those extra numbers.
Kind of along for the ride. Yeah.
But in terms of
totally.
like strategic players here, I'd say that look the it's not really like a very strategic tribe. I'd say the most strategic people are the killers. So our Detective Baileys and our and Quinn, because
Yeah.
everyone else, and like maybe Jennifer to a point. It's hard to say. But I feel like that's not her strength. Like I think that should more so just be like that just her energy is more so just like what will come to the forefront. She might be one of those like very chaotic players who, as we like to say, fails upwards. We'll see what happens when we get to it. But let's
Okay.
look at the other tribe here, the Abe Snake tribe, because
Yes.
for physical threats.
Yes.
I'm looking at this, and probably Danny is going to be the strongest one here.
No argument there.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm looking at other people. I mean, I think there's a case to be made for Maureen Evans, just because I think one of the reasons she was killed so early in her own movie was the fact that she was duped into believing that the person donning the mask was her boyfriend. I think she wouldn't have cuddled up to a killer.
I think that
just
yeah, I mean,
in
I think
her
that,
life.
I
you
think
know?
that she's probably. I think that her strength would probably be strategy,
Right.
because she's she knows her shit. As
Yeah,
as
she's
she
got her
says.
Entertainment Weekly
Yeah.
subscription. Yeah,
She knows her shit.
Randy's a good
But other than that, I'd say
player.
that Tara is probably like a strong physical player, just because she
Yes.
can take a knife wound like a paper cut, as we've seen. So
Over and over and over again.
she's gonna endure a lot of physical hardship in this. Maybe even Judy, because I mean she is a police officer.
That's true.
But Judy is gonna be like a really bad social player. Like Judy's gonna be like the one who's like rubs everyone the wrong way. Just like that's not how you build a shelter. But she might also she could take on like the role of like the tribe mom, which we could see. So it depends on like how everyone responds to her, because there could be people like Ethan who might need that pillar of just like sort of like a parental figure to guide them throughout the game.
She's also obviously going to have some allegiance to Dewey. I think the two of
Well,
them.
let's not really talk about like alliances yet, because we still got to get through the reward challenge. But I'm just like looking at like players' strengths and stuff.
Okay.
Because I think Dewey will be a good social player for sure. Like that'll probably be his strength. Strategy, not so much. And like maybe like 50-50 just in terms of physical prowess.
He has resilience, I'd say.
Yeah. Jill is also gonna, I mean, this is the funny thing, because it's like people know at this point, like they know she's a liar. So it comes down to, and I hate to say this because it's like a character like Jill, almost like she kind of kept herself hidden for all of the movie, only to like unleash her true identity in like the most abrasive way possible, just like to the fullest extent, that it's sort of like it's almost like there's no going back. It's just like you've like lifted the curtain up, and now it's just like we see who you are, that it's going to be really hard for her to get anyone to see her any other way. But I mean, like, look at who she's playing with though, because like the only other Scream 4 people are Judy and Robbie. I mean, people talk, so it's not like they're not going to know. Like, they know she's the killer, but
right, or get a read on her.
Dewey might take things personally,
right?
But yeah,
but also with Jill, like she's got that incredibly controlled, restrained presence until she is no longer, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of like baby with the bathwater. I'm just going to do what I have to get what I want, and even if it's at my own expense. But she's another one. She arguably also just her narcissism. I think even Jennifer Jolie's narcissism can't hold a candle to Jill's, I feel. So once that becomes apparent and people get some proof of it, I feel like that could turn a lot of people off to her. But it could also make people want to see her play the game more and want to ally themselves with her because she is resilient in that vein. Ethan...
I feel like Ethan, like similar to what we were saying with like Tyson and characters like that, like they just kind of blend in, which I mean could be a threat later on down the road. We'll have to see, but I don't see him like just looking at like who's gonna come out guns a-blazing at the start here. It's not gonna be Ethan, and then who else we have? We've got Randy and Robbie.
To Robbie. I love Randy. Randy's going to be a good strategic player, I feel. Like he's going to be able to size people up relatively early, and he he doesn't give a TED talk the way his niece Mindy does. He knows how to play his cards a little closer to his chest. Yeah. But Robbie, just the opposite. Robbie kind of speaks without a filter a lot of the time and is very clearly going to do whatever it takes to stay afloat, to remain a part of the tribe. And I think that kind of lack of strategy is going to shoot him in the foot eventually.
Well, okay, we'll see what happens. But let's get to our first reward challenge, which actually we're using different challenges this season. Some are used over again, but the first challenge will be the same first challenge that we had last season, which is Battle Dig. So members for each tribe will race out to a marked location and dig up a bag. The castaways then compete to return the bag to their tribe's mat. The first person to touch the tribe mat with a hand on the bag scores a point for their team. The first tribe to win a given number of rounds wins the challenge. This is a very physical challenge, and the reward is a fire making kit. So based on physical strength right now, I'd say that I think that personally, I would say that the Sunrise tribe would probably have this.
Really?
Well, who are we looking at? Like besides Danny and possibly Tara, who's she's resilient, but I don't know that she could overpower someone if they're having a tug of war over a bag. Whereas like I'm looking at the like like she could be scrappy, Jill will be scrappy, but I mean like I can't see Randy or Robbie really in a challenge like this doing all that successfully. Maybe Maureen would do well. I don't. It's hard because there's not really like because last season we had like such physical competitors.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at looking at Sam.
Out. Yeah.
I'm looking at Sam. I'm looking at
the
killers from 6 of just like Detective Bailey and Quinn and Steven Stone, and I don't know.
But as far as racing, as far as like running, I'm feeling like Steven Stone and Bailey, Detective Bailey, don't strike me as particularly agile runners. But whereas I feel like because we've got Tara, we've got like Judy, she's a jogger. We've got Danny, who's like kind of like the Olympian of this of the Snake Bodega. Maureen looks like she can handle herself like in a challenge where she has to race back and forth and do that kind of thing. I mean, there's some strength there, but I mean, if you've got a strong feeling for Sunrise Studios, I won't start fighting you just yet.
Well, we're not picking, like, we don't represent one tribe or the other. We're looking at this very from the outside. It's not we don't have we might have our favorites, but we're not going to lean towards them. I think that they're both very equally matched just in terms of physical strength, because it's one of those things where it's almost like you are as strong as your, like, we have to keep remembering that you're as strong as your weakest player. And who would you say is the weakest physical player on each tribe?
Kenny.
Kenny on Sunrise, and
or arguably, I mean, it's either Kenny or Laura, because she doesn't strike me as particularly tough. Samara Weaving does, but her character doesn't. Abe's Snake Bodega, the weakest. I'm tempted to say probably Robbie. Because everybody else.
Yeah. All right. Okay. No, that's fair.
Down.
Okay, then the reward is probably, you're right. It's gonna go to Abe's Snake. So they get their fire, and this is where this is the fun part. We get to go back to camp. We're building shelters. We're meeting people, some for the first time, but we're gonna be forming alliances. So. Let's start with Abe's Snake, just because they won the reward. Who do we think is teaming up here? Who do we think is going to get chummy? Because obviously Dewey and Judy, I think that's
obviously
a given. So we'll just put them together at the front here. Randy, I mean, I don't want to make any because obviously he knows and trusts Dewey, but would that be a reason for him to kind of just like hitch his wagon to that post? immediately.
This early in the game, I think it would be wiser to at least
Oh,
form alliances, and then
Yeah.
So I can
I'm
see
just
him,
I'm just
if you
thinking of
have
like
a friend.
his headspace for just like the tribe on a whole. So okay, we
wonder
can
who.
we'll put him in that group together.
Yeah.
They're at least gonna come together. What do we think about Maureen though? Because she can be one of those personalities that rubs people the wrong way. So
Yeah.
what is her?
But she and Tara might be able to like find some kind of commonality over their disdain for the slasher subgenre, you know, and just discuss, heightened cinema, elevated cinema.
Yeah.
Beyond that might be a way in for the two of them. And
I
yeah,
feel like as much as like just like Robbie and I mean my personal headcanon, which I think makes the most sense anyways, that Charlie killed him. But I feel like regardless, like Robbie would probably still glom towards Jill, and because Jill would probably,
too.
I think that of all the people that Jill could probably dupe, Robbie would
Yes.
probably be the easiest of everyone.
Yes,
So I
absolutely.
see that being like a number in her favor. Ethan, that's kind of the wild card here because I don't know. Because I mean, at least there's a possibility that we could see, just because Tara and Dewey, I don't know what that relationship is because we didn't really get to see it. But I think
Right.
because Dewey and like the whole Tatum thing and just sort of like how Tara, represents just that family aspect of it, or just like the younger sister, that there might be a bond there that she could be part of that alliance, and like
Right.
and Maureen would as well. So yeah, that leaves
I like that.
Ethan and Danny of just like what
Well-
are they? Where are they going? What are they doing?
Well, I can say for Ethan,
Yeah.
I see Jill seeing an opportunity because it's another beta Ghostface.
Yeah.
He's obviously not the mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to gravitate toward anyone she can exploit and use for her benefit.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's kind of just as good at being duplicitous as she is, I think she could see. I definitely think she's smarter than he is, but I think she could definitely use his talents to her benefit. So I see her pursuing him, and I almost get this image of her holding chains to Robbie and Ethan as though they're her, her hellhounds,
Yeah. But at the same time, I also see kind of like that, like I said before, of just like Judy kind of taking over and being that mother hen, and Ethan is just responding to that because it's like it's somebody that he could be subservient to. So it could be like this tug of war between Judy and Jill. Like, don't tell me what to do, bitch. It's like
Judy is the angel on his shoulder and Jill is the devil on his shoulder.
I definitely feel like if these are alliances here, I think that like the person who's coming out at the top, or just like the one that's like the leader of each alliance, would be Judy on the one side and Jill on the other. But I still think that I see right now like Ethan and Danny both being kind of like in the middle, because Danny is also, he's kind of like a loner outsider. He's not the type that is going to immediately run to any one side or the other. I think that it's just like he's one of those people that like would take longer to really figure things out, because he has that whole thing with Sam, remember, where he's just like, if you don't trust me, then like don't trust me, don't trust anyone, sort of thing. So I think that he seems like one of those people that's more like needs to take their time to build trust and relations with people.
That said, I wouldn't be surprised if down the line he took some kind of protective air over anyone, but particularly Tara, because of her connection to Sam and because of his connection to Sam. I feel like he would want to make sure that the two of them make it as far as possible,
Yeah.
if for no other reason than it would, it would benefit Sam in a way. It's kind of an honorable thing to do. He's a man of service. So
If
that's
the thing is, like, if
only
he
person I can see
is like part of the bigger alliance, the Judy alliance, then him and Maureen are at the bottom. So it's one of those things that, I'll leave it on here as I have it right now. I've just kind of like the one side. I'll put Judy at the very end and Jill at the very end, just to kind of represent the polar opposite sides of each one. But so they're building their shelter. I'm sure Judy's kind of just dictating a lot, and Jill's just sitting there, just like, I'm not doing anything. You go get the
Right.
So let's check in with the Sunrise Studio tribe. Where are they at?
Okay.
What are the alliances here? This is obviously the Baileys are going to be together.
Right.
Fuck. This one is hard. I feel that, like,
Jennifer and Steven.
Yeah, them for sure. But I feel like Sam is one of those people that just, like, she will hold a grudge, and even if, like, it's like a new playing field, she is not going to be working with, like, she will be against them, and she will be vocally like, I'm against you to the Baileys. So I'm just going to put her on the complete opposite end, and I think that Annika will probably, like you said, join up with Sam on that side.
I agree.
So we've got,
and they're probably going to be very, very reticent towards everyone else, towards the new people, and just kind of take things as they come and see, like, who they can trust. I feel like that's going to be a big thing with Sam and Annika.
For Sam. Yeah.
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 Well, because Annika got killed, so she's like, it's not happening again.
Yeah.
You ain't killing me. But
Kenny,
yeah.
He's another wild card, because because he's, like I said, like, he's going to be a number, but he's not like, not that he's like an unscrupulous person, because he obviously has reservations about, like, working with Gail, but he still works for her. He still takes on the job, even though he might, like, every now and then just be like, what am I doing here?
I can see him gravitating to Jennifer also, just because of that shared kind of Gale energy. Like, that commanding, like, I think he would need somebody to guide him, and he'd probably be really, really comfortable with, like, an assertive woman who points in a direction for him to run in that direction, or maybe not even run, but, hurry as much as he can in the direction that they point in. Jennifer wouldn't hesitate to do anything like that.
And so okay, well, because it's almost like there's three alliances here now. There's the Killers, there's Sam, and then there's the Jennifer alliance, just in the middle there. And then we have Laura and we have Tyson.
Yeah.
And I think that Tyson would honestly probably be part of the Jennifer alliance, because it's familiarity. Tyson seems like one of those people who's just like, he's the most comfortable where he knows what's going on. So I can see him being there. Laura, I guess, like,
because she's an academic, she probably wouldn't gravitate toward Jennifer and that whole Hollywood thing, because, what are those conversations going to be like? And also, I don't know, she'd probably want to pair herself with somebody who's stronger. I'm wondering
I think that she'd probably be more on Sam's team.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I'd hate to think that Quinn and Wayne would be able to kind of act, like decent people and coerce her into.
Yeah.
But that might happen. That could actually happen. I could see her easily kind of being duped into walking down, not an alley because we're on an island, but into a self-destructive scenario. Yeah. Because of the Baileys.
Well, I think, okay, so, like, with the Abe Snake tribe, I think what's interesting about that is that we have, like, two opposite ends, and then there's some people that are at the bottom, but it's just, like, it's almost, like, very black and white, whereas here, there are two, like, opposing sides, but then there's, like, the middle, and the middle seems to be bigger than everything else, so it might be one of those things where the middle right now might be looking pretty good because they could play both sides off of each other. Anyway, let's get to the immunity challenge because I
Okay.
think that's a good place to leave the the alliances for now. But
Right.
this is Quest for Fire. It was also the first immunity challenge in season 1. But in this
Okay.
one, tribes have a raft fitted with a fire cauldron and 2 torches. The tribes will use the torches to light a series of torches or walks, both on land and in the water. All members must have their hands on the raft at all times. The first tribe to reach the finish wins.
Okay. So they're
It's a very physical challenge.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, I think that the Bodega tribe is winning again.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
More swimmers builds.
Yeah.
And snake
So they are immune, which means that we're sending Sunrise Studios to Tribal Council.
Okay.
So we're gonna deal with this sooner than later. And okay, we've got who's so are we saying that Jennifer is probably in charge of the alliance of like her
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah,
see because
'cause I-
Steven's not going to be the type who's like he's basically a servant, he's working for her. If anything, I see like her and Tyson being more of the like the two who are probably like the ones strategizing the most or just like the calling the shots while Kenny and Stone are more so just like the ones following the lead. So this is a situation because they're an alliance of 4. This is a 9-person tribe. It would behoove the other people to work together to have the numbers, but it's just like the question is like how willing are they to to kind of come together and just put aside their differences, and I'm talking about like Sam and the Baileys to succeed at the game, because that's the trouble here, because I don't see it happening.
Well, I can see Sam not working necessarily to eliminate them right off the bat, because I can see her wanting to win something over them, if not the entire season.
Well, I think that this is a case where I think that Sam would sooner align with Jennifer to get out one of those two.
Or you just mentioned that like the Jennifer Jolie tribe is the one that holds kind of like, if it's not the majority, but it's got the most people in it.
Yeah.
So if they want to try and chip away at that, it might be wise to take away one of Jennifer Jolie's allies.
Yeah.
Who they don't see as someone who they can exploit down the road.
But the thing
question
is,
is,
no,
would
but what
that
I'm
be-
saying is that would require Sam to work with the killers, and
I know.
that's not something that's like, Edward. Let's be honest, it's not happening. you have to take your this is the anti cherry picker. You have to take your heart and your conscience out of it.
I am, but I am making arguments.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
It might be one of the
okay.
it might be they might just get rid of Laura then, because if Jennifer's kind of going to both sides, and if both sides are wanting to get rid of the other, she might be the one being like, no, we need to stay strong. My Gale would want our tribe to be strong, and something like that they would kind of be like, okay, this is the first tribal. We don't need to get too dramatic and serious. It's easy. It's just like, what is the easy vote, and then just just wait for a while and see where things go before we start cannibalizing each side.
Yeah.
So
It also makes for more interesting reality TV
Yeah.
if Laura, one of the more decent people among them, is the first to go, because then before you know it, you're kind of occupying this bed of snakes.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm
it makes
in
the most
agreement to
sense,
send
because
Laura
like
Crane home.
if they can't like vote unanimously, Jennifer would just go to the side of the killers and just be like, okay, we're gonna get out Laura, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, first eliminated, Laura Crane.
Right.
All right.
Bye, Laura.
Bye, Laura. So, if anyone would like to watch the rest of the season and see how it turns out, please subscribe to my Patreon. You'll also get early access to all Cherry Picker episodes, but also the entire backlog of the Cherry Picker After Dark episodes, which includes season 1 of Scream Survivor, or Scream-vivor. We haven't fully decided what to call it. Anyway, thank you.
You're making the graphics.